Gabriella, whoa, Gabriella did not have her period in over a year. She was exhausted, she was bloated, the food noise was out of this world, scared of gaining weight, and constantly battling herself in the mirror. Sound familiar? Not all bad though. 2 months later, after she joined my program, her period is back, she's feeling more confident than ever, she's got some booty gains, all is freaking well in the world, and that is not a surprise. More importantly, she started to feel more at home in her body, which is honestly what I want for each and every one of you watching this. So on that note, in this video, I am going to break down everything that we did together to get her period back in 2 months so you can copy and paste. Everything from the mental roadblocks, the physical changes, and the mindset shifts that made this all possible. If you see me spin around, I apologize. I have ADHD like everyone else in this world, and so I have to spin in my chair. Also, hey, my name is Haley. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because I talk about periods all the freaking time. Also, your relationship with food, because I think the two go hand in hand. I help women recover their cycles, get them regular, heal their relationship with food, heal their relationship with their body, and build strength and confidence without the obsession. And today I'm going to share one of my gorgeous client stories, Gabriella. Her journey is a perfect example of how healing your hormones gives more to your life than it does take away. Because I would love to start to walk away from the notion that period recovery means you're giving up every freaking thing that you worked hard for, because that is not the case. So let's set the scene. Gabriella was absolutely terrified of gaining weight. She was so scared of looking in the mirror and being like, what the heck even freaking happened to me? And I'm sure you have the same fear. The mornings consisted of body checks, making sure that her abs were still there, making sure nothing had changed, all in a way to control her body. Like, this is very rarely about aesthetics ever. It's about control. And a lot of women, maybe like you, tie their self-worth to their body. So any threat to your aesthetic or to your body composition is essentially a threat to you. And you're like, absolutely not happening. Because a lot of her worth was tied to her small body, being the fit girl, being the one with abs, being this, that, and the other. So when her body started changing, the fear of losing her identity was very, very real. On top of that, the fear of gaining fat. I think that a lot of you guys can relate to this. Gaining fat can kind of mean, oh, I'm losing all of my progress. I'm regressing. I'm just giving everything up that I worked so freaking hard for. And that is not the case. Because right now you're equating eating more to loss of control, which those two things are not correctly opposites. So even though she logically knew she needed to eat more, emotionally it feels like a failure. And that fear kept her stuck. It's keeping you stuck in low energy availability. And until we can bridge the gap from knowing and doing, you are going to stay stuck. So essentially her body did not feel safe enough to menstruate. And so it didn't. It shut down processes like menstruation, like cognition or brain fog. She struggled very heavily with that. With digestion, so bloating was a very big problem for us at the start. Speaking of bloating, this is a very classic recovery symptom and something that Gabriella struggled with very heavily at the start. I'm definitely not going to sugarcoat this. This journey is not rainbows, it's not butterflies, it's not unicorns, but it is insanely worth it. And it is very, very important that you do take the steps to get your cycle back for many reasons that I have already spoken about. However, the bloating was kind of convincing her that everything that she was doing was wrong. Like, she was gaining a bunch of weight, her stomach was very extended, it was very uncomfortable, her clothes weren't fitting, so that was equated to her doing something wrong, which is not right. And so rather than viewing the extended belly, the bloating as a failure, we reframe that, because actually bloating is a sign that your body is starting to ramp up the digestion, it's starting to wrap up your hormones, and that is a very good sign and a prerequisite for period recovery. So if you are bloating right now or very bloated, that is not a sign that you are regressing or going in the wrong direction. That is actually a sign that you are going in the right direction, and you need to reframe that from failure to success. So I'm assuming that all of these are very relatable for you. The fear of looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself, the bloating, the weight gain, all of that. So I want to outline step by step exactly what we did to get over these hurdles, and so you can apply that. Firstly, the mindset shift that I see across the board in all of my HA clients is the scarcity and lack of mindset. This is essentially where you focus on everything that you're losing or everything that you don't have. So the reason why the threshold to starting recovery is so hard for some of you is because you're only focused on the cup half empty. I'm going to lose my identity. I'm going to lose my abs. I'm going to lose my body. What about the things that you're going to gain? Have you ever thought about that? Because what you focus on manifests, and that was exactly what happened with Gabriella. We were very heavily focused on everything that we were losing, so we wanted to reframe that mindset and being more in an abundance mindset of what did we actually gain? What are we gaining along this journey? So with eating more, with resting more, that also gave her more energy. It made her sleep better. Her digestion improved. She had way better workouts. She was actually recovering from her workouts. She was actually gaining muscle, and she also had a freaking social life where she could go out and have a croissant on a random Tuesday and move on. So what we did is anchor in gratitude. We'd reflect on what her body is allowing her to do, not what it's lacking. So we focused on performance. Are you lifting heavier? Are you seeing some booty gains? Are you seeing some back gains? All of these things are there if you choose to look at them. So step one is always getting to that root cause of why it is so hard for you to take that first step. And typically it's because you're in that lack of mindset and not the abundance mindset. However, getting out of that lack of mindset requires action. There is no plan. There is no journal prompt that is going to get you out of that lack of mindset better than taking action forward and you having this undeniable proof, building up the confidence that what you say you're going to do, you actually freaking do. Now, moving on to the next step, slowly increasing her macros and her calories so her body could adapt. We didn't just go from 1600 to 2400. No, that is not what I do with my clients, because I want to acclimatize you to your increments step by step. So we increase gradually. Typically 100 to 150 calories per week or every 2 weeks through carbs and fats, because that routinely is what HA ladies are lacking. Protein, I trust that you know your protein. Gabriella was getting enough protein. We needed to focus on the carbs and fats. And what we saw was actually surprising, because for the first couple weeks, I was pushing that increase. However, her body eventually caught up after the bloating subsided. She was feeling leaner. Her bloating was gone, and she was actually hungry to the point where she was asking me for calorie increases, which is my bread and butter. I absolutely adore when my clients are like, yeah, hit me with the calories, Haley, because I'm like, yes, girl, I freaking see you, and it's just the best. So that slow-paced approach helped her acclimatize to the increase, and also the mental resistance wasn't as much. Number 3, focused on low volume, high density foods. This is game changing for bloating, especially if you are the type of person to volume eat. So when you're coming from a restrictive background, what can happen is your stomach shrinks essentially. So your capacity for food isn't as much. And so you get full on lower amounts of food. On top of that, digestion is often compromised. So instead of filling up on these high volume foods that are not very calorie dense and not useful in this situation, we lowered the volume, increased the density. Think white rice instead of your cauliflower rice, whole fat yogurt instead of non-fat yogurt, adding oils, doubling up on carbs, juice, milk, liquid calories, cooking your veggies rather than having raw veggies. All of these things accumulate into having her digestion improve, also improving on her calorie intake. Step 4, we tracked her biofeedback. Because we saw her sleep improving, her strength gains, her libido improving, her body temperature improving, her mood and digestion improving. It was very motivating to know that what she was doing and what she was implementing was actually paying off. Some of your worst fears and also also one of Gabriella's worst fears was that we apply this, we do it, we gain some weight, and we have nothing to show for it. So tracking your biofeedback can be really rewarding in solidifying that positive loop that yes, you are freaking making progress, because your period is not going to come back in 2 weeks. It takes some time, but within that time, we can track that biofeedback and know that yes, you are on the right track. I actually have a biofeedback tracker if you want to download that. It is in the description box below, so you can track it for yourself. And number 5, progressive overload. You know my view on stopping training while in HA recovery. I'm not a huge fan of it, and I don't think it's necessary because each and every one of my clients got it back without sacrificing their training routine. So it's not about stopping, it's about optimizing. So we reduced her very high step count. We kept 4 to 5 structured workouts focusing on progressive overload and reps in reserve rather than constantly training till failure and sacrificing her central nervous system. This actually improved her muscle building capacity because she was giving her body enough rest and recovery time to actually build that muscle. Everything has opposites: sun, moon, night, day, life, death. You cannot push yourself without rest. You need rest to build muscle. And I know that gives all of you a little bit of anxiety. However, like I mentioned, action is going to breed motivation. You have to take steps forward. You cannot let fear run your life forever. And not only that, building muscle is so empowering. I freaking love it. And plus it gives you some purpose outside of period recovery as well. So that's the key. Recovery is not about doing less forever. It's about doing it right and smarter. So those are the main shifts that we made that got Gabriella's period back in 2 months. And it wasn't because she found a magic pill. It's not because my program is magical. It's because it freaking works. And the mundane, simple things freaking work. Simple scales, complex fails, my friend. So if you're looking for a magic pill, if you're looking for the Purveyor challenge, if you're looking for all this, that, and the other, stop looking and start freaking doing something. Because in the mundane, in the very boring tasks, in the times where you think that nothing is happening, things are happening. You just have to stick it out for long enough to get the results that you want, for your body to trust you again. So if you're stuck in the exact same place you were a few months ago, my coaching application is open. It is in the description box below. Fill it out. I will get back to you within 24 hours and we can see if we're a good fit to work together. However, in the meantime, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment any other videos you want to see from me, and I will catch you in the next one.